Welcome to HTM on the Line, the podcast that is for HTM by HTM. I'm your host, Bryant Hawkins Sr., and today I'm thrilled to have Russ Baker, Senior Vice President of Uptime Services, joining us. Russ brings over 31 years of experience in the dental industry, and he's here to share insights on how Uptime Services is transforming dental equipment repair and maintenance. We'll discuss his journey, the unique challenges facing the dental repair industry, and the groundbreaking work Uptime Services is doing to empower technicians and improve patient care. So let's get into it. Welcome to HTM on the Line. I'm glad to be joined by a special guest, Russ Baker with Uptime Services. How you doing today, Russ?
I'm doing great, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, thanks for coming on. I'm very excited about this episode we're going to get into. But before we get deep into it, could you please tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So yeah, my name is Russ Baker. I'm currently serve as the Senior Vice President of Uptime Services, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Uptime Health. So I'm in the dental industry. Much like yourself, I just learned, I've actually been in the industry for 31 years. Right out of college, I ended up working with a manufacturer of consumable supplies in the dental space that sold things. We had things like composites and impression material and cements and things like that. Basically, the things that dentists needs to perform procedures in their practice. Was with them for a couple of years right out of school as a territory rep, and then had an opportunity to go to work with my largest distributor at the time. In Cleveland, Ohio, a company by the name of Amir Dental, which was a regional dealer. And I made the transition from selling supplies to selling capital equipment and designing offices. So did that for a period of time. And then our company was acquired by Henry Schein, which is really one of the largest healthcare providers for distributed products for equipment, supplies, et cetera. And sold equipment for a period of time. Then I moved into management, ended up moving into several different leadership roles throughout the country. Spent 24 years there. And then about 5 years ago, decided had kind of an entrepreneurial itch, and a fellow colleague of mine and I, we kind of peeled off from the major distribution house and went to work with a company to kind of help disrupt the industry. And we had a lot of fun doing it. One of the businesses that was owned was a repair business called Dental Fix, and so been there ever since. We recently sold the company about 4 months ago to Uptime Health. So 31 years, but the vast majority of it in distribution and leadership and management, and that's where we are today.
Okay, wow, man, that's a nice little journey you have there.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned
it was too long for
it. Hey, man, you just started young. That's all.
Yeah.
You mentioned Uptime Health.
Yeah.
But I've noticed you are a senior VP for Uptime Services. How does this work? I mean, are these two companies? Are they one company?
Yeah. So Uptime Health it's really so Uptime Services is a wholly owned subsidiary of Uptime Health. It was just created when Uptime Health acquired specific assets of the former company, which was called Dental Whale. And so Uptime Services is really the repair and sales component and logistics, I would call it, for Uptime Health. Uptime Health is really it's an innovative SaaS platform, really designed to automate and optimize management of medical and dental equipment. So Uptime Health is really a SaaS solution, and then Uptime Services is really more the logistics. Feet on the street. We go in and we work with dental practices and repair their equipment, do some preventative maintenance and things of that nature, and also when there's opportunity for replacement equipment, we'll look to source that and sell capital equipment.
What unique challenges are Uptime Services specifically addressing?
Yeah, it's a good question, Brian. So if I kind of like zoom out a little bit and look at the entire like industry, um, on the capital equipment side of the business and repair, it's really for the most part dominated by distribution. On the repair side, the major distributors probably have about 70 to 80% of the market share, and also perform. They have employees who are dedicated to repairing the equipment that's in the practice. So um, there is a bit of a challenge, not a bit, I'd call it a pretty severe challenge, in that a lot of the technicians are somewhat aging out or graying out, and there hasn't been a big influx of new folks into the space. So, what Uptime Services is doing, number one, we have our business model is set up under really two brand names. One is Dental Fix, and Dental Fix is a franchise business that we own. And, we have, quite a few vans on the road, and then, owners of the franchises, and they have employees, and they serve a market, basically small business owners. And then we've also helped to scale the business through a group of independent technicians. And they could be sole providers, meaning like, they'll have like a, one man and one van to really, a business where, a owner has, multiple, vans. I think you had Oscar Gutierrez with Elite Dental on recently. And, we partner with Oscar down in Dallas, and, he has 25 technicians out on the street. So what we're looking to solve is basically empowering the independent technicians to get access to parts, get access to training, work closely with the OEMs, and to solve the issue that we have in the dental market, which is not enough technicians, and also the technicians who are independent not having access to training and parts and those things. So we're basically training them up. And then we're also now partnering with CBET, the College of Biomedical Equipment and Technology in San Antonio, Texas, and helping them develop the curriculum for the very first accredited dental technician program in the United States. And so we want to attract more people into dental because it's a great space. We deal with professionals. The equipment is very interesting and can be challenging. But if you have a strong mental appetite, people absolutely love working on it, and it can be a very good a career path for someone.
Now, you mentioned you collaborated with the College of Biomedical Equipment Technology, and
Yes.
What role does education play in this effort for you to have to collaborate? Because you mentioned there is no regulation, but what made you want to get into making something more structured education wise?
Yeah. So the big thing is getting more people into the industry. So, getting to people when they're younger to understand it, let them know that there's a career path within dental repair is one thing, but actually helping to professionalize the industry, because it is really fallen on the OEMs and the distributors to offer training. So, by partnering with the school, we really want to raise the professionalism in the dental arena, and then ultimately bring more people in. And this is not like an altruistic type thing. We know that certain number of people will come and they'll be independents, or they'll work with Dental Fix, or they'll work with Uptime Services. Many of them may go to work for the distributors, which we actually think is a great thing. So we want to basically solve the issue of downtime in a dental practice, because there oftentimes, it could take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days to get a technician on site to work on a piece of equipment that's down, that's causing an access to care issue.
This program you established with CBET, do you know of any other schools out there like this, or is this a one of one?
One of one. And,
Wow.
Dr. Gonzalez has been fantastic. He shares the same vision that we do. He's looking to solve a problem that exists today. And also to provide, another course load for people who may be looking to come into dental that may have a an HTM background or a biomed background that haven't even considered dental as an industry, no less a career path.
Do y'all have some type of preventive maintenance program you can offer to the practices?
Yeah, I tell you, that is one of the best questions, Bryant, because traditionally the dental market has been a break and fix mentality, meaning we come out to fix it after it breaks. And preventative maintenance is rare. And we're trying to solve for that problem as well. And that's actually where Uptime Health comes into play, because with its SaaS platform, more and more of the equipment is, quote unquote, smart, through IoT connectivity that's throwing off error codes, throwing off different things. And a lot of the OEMs have created like their own apps, right, to do this. But the issue has been that every manufacturer has their own app, and what happens is the customer doesn't use it. So Uptime Health has created this portal called the Universal Device Hub. So now all the smart equipment can basically feed into one central area, so that we can understand and have really predictive analytics on wear rates, et cetera, so that we can go out there and take care of issues before they're issues, but also put customers on preventive maintenance plans so that it doesn't become this break fix thing. It's more predictable. But honestly, just by flipping the mindset in dental, we think would solve like a significant issue with the shortage of technicians. But we have to basically do both at the same time. Shift the mentality of the dental practice operator, and then also create more, really increase the labor within the space.
I looked you guys up, did a little homework before this interview, and I love this saying I saw on your website: equip to educate and excel with Uptime Services. What's the meaning behind that there?
Well, that's a good question, Brian. So, basically we want to move things forward, right? We want to ultimately like give our providers the ability to treat their patients without the worry of equipment failure, or compliance issues. So we're going to equip them and excel them to be able to do what they do best, which is to provide patient care. So really, we're a supportive company to the industry, whether it be medical or dental. My focus is really on the dental side of the business, but Uptime Health is really bringing a different level of professionalism into the dental space that didn't really exist before. Dental has always been, like I said, break and fix, but also when you look at compliance things, it's been very analog. And so now we're actually bringing a different level of professionalism to accelerate things, to excel things, to actually be more digitally based for compliance issues as well, to keep people safe.
And I love the professionalism part you keep touching on, because that's a challenge we have within the hospital. So I know out there in the field that has to be increased, because you have to be very engaging with the client. Because when you walk in that door,
Yeah.
you need it. So you would have to have that professionalism, that soft skill to be able to communicate with the client, to build that relationship for them to, I guess, want to trust you to even provide them with service.
The technicians who are in the field today do a very good job at that. Like connecting with and communicating with the office, with the team, with the staff. The customers for the most part are still small business owners. They're sole proprietors. They have a practice. We have seen more and more consolidation in dentistry through group practices who are looking to acquire and grow, and we are seeing, more and more private equity kind of coming into the office. And so what we see with the small business owners is really that relationship is critical, right? Because they want to be able to trust the people that are coming into their office. They're very much on first name basis, and really get to know them so that they can take care of them in the future as well.
Now, I saw this on YouTube. You was on a panel.
Oh boy.
And the panel was, oh snap, it's a family show.
It wasn't Snap.
I know. What was the meaning behind? Let's share the experience of this panel. What was the purpose of, or the goal of being on that panel?
Yeah. It was basically underscoring the deficiencies in the dental market, and it being a break fix, like emergency type world, meaning something goes down in an office, a piece of equipment goes down, and it becomes a fire drill, right? So yeah, the oh snap moment. Everyone has oh snap moments, right? And so the customer's oh snap moment becomes really the technician's moment, because we're downstream. And it has a lot to do with such a lack of preventive maintenance. And so things break down and it becomes an emergency. So yeah, we hosted a panel with some of the OEMs that we work with, also, some large customers that we work with, and also a compliance officer. And basically, the whole narrative was around, how do we prevent these moments from happening? And the industry is really, I think, through the really the leadership with Uptime Health, is looking to change the way things have historically happened. Number one, it's changing a mindset. It's a paradigm shift on actually moving to preventative maintenance. And now with Uptime Health and understanding the actual equipment that's all kind of reporting in, it's giving the data that's necessary to prevent those, down moments or oh snap moments as well. So that was really kind of the purpose behind it, and to help really our customers. And we did this at a convention called DICOMA, which is a large DSO conference for group practices that they host annually in Denver, Colorado. It was very well attended, and it was kind of a fun breakout.
Great. So we're talking about conventions. Is Uptime Services involved in any conventions? Do they attend, or do they host any? Or are you aware of any?
Yeah, we do both. So we absolutely attend meetings. Typically, we'll have a booth. If not, we have a presence at the meetings to go out and visit with customers or our vendor partners. But really, the real exciting thing that we do is we do an annual Dental Fix / Uptime Services Summit. And that's actually coming up the first week of October 3rd to the 6th in Nashville, Tennessee. And that's an opportunity for technicians to come and learn, and also, build relationships, get closer to the vendors, to the OEMs, get exposed to training, get exposed to business solutions, because most of the people that we work with in our network are small business owners, and they come, they build out camaraderie, they share their war stories, right? They learn from each other, and it's really it's something we look forward to every year, and that's right around the corner. If we this year we actually started last year, where we started to open it up to the biomed community. and what we call ERTs, equipment repair technicians, which are essentially independent business owners. Historically, the meeting has been for our franchisees, but we really wanted to have this continue to build and grow and be the premier training opportunity for technicians in the dental industry, and once a year. And so we're excited about it. It should be a lot of fun.
So this is open to Biomed Tech along with the ERTs.
Correct. And also with the franchise owners.
Okay.
And so it's going to be fun, Brian. I'd love for you to come out and take a look at it.
I'll definitely put the registration in the link so everyone can get out. If they get the interest, they can come register. Now, let's just dig a little bit more into it. I know you said in the past it was mainly for franchisees, or however you say that word.
Yes.
But
franchise.
Yes. Let's tap into it a little. Did you attend last year?
Yeah, it's our meeting. Yeah.
Biomed Tech was the walk-in. He registered. Mm-hmm. What would a morning look like to him if he walked into the hotel? Just give them an idea of what they're going to see when they come into the place and what's to expect.
So they're not to get too granular, but we'll kind of give you a little bit of an overview. So it's really a Thursday to Sunday meeting. Most of the our team they prefer to do it more over the weekend so that it doesn't impact their business as much from not being able to service their customers. So it's one of the things. You come in on a Thursday midday. We have a welcome reception on Thursday evening. Drinks, hors d'oeuvres, things of that nature. Everyone kind of gets to just kind of catch back up with each other. From there, there's a welcome reception and like a registration desk and all that good stuff. And we'll have our vendor partners at the welcome reception. So people like to go around to the booths and talk to the vendors and kind of learn about the equipment and talk and all that good stuff. So that's really Thursday night. Then Friday, Saturday and Sunday are really the training sessions. And there's 6 different hour-and-a-half training sessions with different OEMs. And so those are obviously very well attended. People want to learn the latest and greatest with technology, want to learn about the equipment. The vendors enjoy it because they want their equipment to be represented well in the field and maintain, its working status. They also, they teach them, things that are differentiated about their equipment because they want to drive sales as well. So you have things going on for the next 2.5 days, doing things like that. We have a hands-on course on Sunday, learning about handpiece repair, small equipment repair, which is hosted by another one of our companies, Florida Dental Repair. And we then we kind of sprinkle it in with business solutions. So everything from companies that offer like a group discount for like merchant processing, or a group discount from being a part of our association, to get discounted accounting services, business development opportunities to work with different dental labs to help promote things. So we try and sprinkle in business solutions as well as equipment training.
Wow, man. I never imagined this much went into dental repair. That's awesome. The fact that you guys are supporting the community like that is amazing. So there are a lot of parts moving around when y'all have this summit. It's not just a get together. It's like a lot of planning hasn't been involved. So
yeah, and it's really the only thing like it, Brian. And so unfortunately, a lot of the independent technicians kind of live in the shadows in a way, because they may have not have had the access to the OEM trainings. They didn't have access to certain parts that they need to perform, their repairs. And so we're helping them gain those really valuable resources. And so that's really the big thing behind it. And our vendor partners they're all for it because they recognize that there's a shortage of technicians, that the dealers can only do so much. And it's not, always, I'm not, bashing the dealers in any way, shape, or form. There's, they have limited resources, and, they're focused on sales and service and support. But there's only so much they can do. So now, if you take it, call it, 3,000 or a little bit over 3,000, technicians that are out there. About 2,000, third of them are independent. So we're solving for that, and then we want to attract more people into the industry to really help the customer at the end of the day.
Wow, I mean, you guys are doing a lot. To say nobody knows you're doing it, that's amazing. And hopefully we can fix that. Now,
no, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Let's touch back on technology. You was mentioning the technology that Uptime Health provides along with Uptime Services. With technology advancing so quickly, I mean, how does Uptime Services stay ahead and ensure that, your solutions continue to meet the needs of dental practices?
Yeah, that's a good question, Brent. So, couple things that we're solving. Well, several things, because it's multi-tiered. One is, partnering with the College of Biomed Equipment and Technology, right, and then connecting the vendors to the college. That's one very significant avenue. And then we've also created an LMS solution, so learning management system for technicians to go on and consume basically training at their own time, at their own pace, online. So that's available as well. And really the third aspect of that is actually going to the OEMs themselves. So we help coordinate classes with the various vendors to be put on. And the vendors, love hosting, the technicians out at their site to actually, really tear the equipment apart and dig into it. So it's really multi-tiered.
And that's amazing. I mean, I love it. What is your long-term vision for Uptime Services? How do you see the company shaping the future of dental repair and maintenance? Because you mentioned a lot of things. So let's say 5 years. I mean, I don't want to say 20 years. I mean,
yeah.
Let's just go for
5 years. I think the what would be a highly tangible, realistic result is changing the mindset of the practice owners, the dental practice owners, from being reactive to being proactive. And so we have the tools to accomplish that. And as we work with our vendor partners and we do integrations onto the Uptime Health SaaS platform, we think that's going to really ultimately professionalize the industry and give the correct data to allow for better patient experience. Unfortunately, what happens today in the current state is a piece of equipment, and especially if it's a critical piece of equipment like a compressor or vacuum, goes down, the office is shut down. They're flat out shut down, and they can't see patients. That's a real problem on a lot of levels. And so what we want to ultimately do is reduce and ultimately eliminate the downtime in dental practices. Of course, we're helping on the medical side. That's really where Uptime Health came from. But my 5-year goal is to really change the mindset from break fix to preventative maintenance and moving from an analog world of compliance and people jotting down notes to actually moving it to a digital where everything is captured and we have the information to keep the practices up and running. So I think we can do it. 5 years might be a stretch, but I think we can do it.
I mean, I'm just thinking I guess I got my mind wrapped around a hospital, but it's amazing to think you can have a facility with no maintenance program.
Yeah.
It's fine. You can just do it and don't get in trouble. How are you going to have predictability of things may go wrong? You don't even have data. So that's great what Uptime Health's doing. At least that's getting the ball rolling, but no PMs. I mean, that's not preventing failures. So
correct.
It's amazing that Man, I can just try to imagine. I guess stuff break, they just push to the side, I'm assuming. I mean,
And it actually, when you talk about it to practice owners, it makes sense to them, right? To actually have preventive maintenance. I mean, they do it with their vehicles. They they actually run a business that's also built on a hygiene program for people coming in, every 6 months or sometimes more often, on getting their teeth cleaned. That's preventative, which is basically a hygiene procedure. That's preventative to decrease the decay, which is quote unquote like more of an emergency. So they get it when you take the time and communicate with them. I think part of it has been there's a lack of drive for preventative maintenance throughout the entire industry. So we want to turn that upside down, and ultimately everybody wins.
that will cut down downtime. Preventive maintenance is the number one. That's like our driver. We have to get them PMs done.
Yeah, well, I think sometimes it becomes like slow down in order to speed up, right? So it's like you have to slow down and actually, if you are an independent business owner as a technician, and it's almost like every day of your life you're running like an emergency clinic, right? Because the phone is ringing and something's down, and you got to drop what you're doing to get there to get this person up. So you're constantly triaging. And so it's like, okay, if you can get, your top 20, 30, 40 customers on a preventative maintenance schedule, that'll reduce those emergency calls. And ultimately it becomes also more predictable revenue for them as well. And they probably just, their quality of life goes up as well.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. From a budgeting standpoint, it will definitely help them because they'll kind of have an idea what it would cost them if failures happen. And then you have the history they provide to them. I mean, it's so many tangibles can get solved with a maintenance schedule. Wow.
Yeah, we're actually coming out with our like an SLA for really emergency. I wouldn't say emergency for critical equipment. Sterilizers, X-rays, mechanical room.
So what's the SLA, Russ?
Service level agreement. So it'll be for specific equipment that we'll put on a PM, on a preventive maintenance plan.
Well, Russ, man, I really enjoyed talking with you. You really put the light on even more this dental industry. Talking with your counterparts earlier last week was amazing, but now listening to you, it's just like it's digging deeper into it, and it's amazing the things you guys are doing, and no one knows you're doing it.
Yeah,
that's the amazing part. But we're gonna fix that.
Yeah, we're gonna fix it. Hey, listen, Brian, I appreciate this opportunity to get to know you, to learn about what you're doing, and I think you are definitely serving the community at large, and I just appreciate your time and this opportunity.
Oh man, you're welcome to come back anytime you like, man. My door is open.
All right, thank you.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode of HTM on the Line. A huge thanks to Russ Baker for sharing his wealth of knowledge and giving us a deeper look into the world of dental repair and the exciting innovations at Uptime Services. It's clear that the work they're doing is making a significant impact, not just on the dental industry, but on the quality of care that patients receive. Before we wrap up, I want to remind everyone about the upcoming Dental Fix Uptime Services Summit happening October 3rd to 6th in Nashville, Tennessee. This event is a fantastic opportunity for dental equipment repair technicians, franchise owners, and biomed equipment technicians to network, learn, and grow in their careers. If you found this conversation as insightful as I did, make sure to subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and share it with your colleagues. Let's continue to elevate the HTM industry, one conversation at a time. Until next time, I'm Brian Hawkins Sr., and this has been HTM on the Line. Stay curious, stay committed, and keep making a difference.